Okay, so when last we left off here, we'd gone through and sanded off the blade edge of this dagger, and I've got a lot more detail to go on this. So we're going to skip this guy and we're going to go to a throwing axe. I'm going to take the top part of the sander and I'm just going to kind of drop it here, go down, and as I bring it back towards me, I'm just trying to capture that edge and try to get as close to this edge as possible. This is going to be a coreless throwing axe that we've got going on here. And it's been my experience so far that axes throw much better than daggers. And what we're going to do here is we're going to plastidip. There's two forms of plastidip. One is just an aerosol spray can and just spray it on. If you end up going that route, you'll do about, I recommend 5 coats of black first. Then, or if you go with just the paint on plastidip, which comes in a little tub, and then just grab your paintbrush here and just dip in, and then once you get it all nice and gooped up, just go in and just paint this guy on. Now the nice thing about this plastidip here, whether it be paint on or the spray on, it will auto correct and it'll actually just kind of form into the foam itself. So if you had any rune detail or anything like this and you really gooped it on, it'll actually auto level and sink into the foam itself, which is really nice. So if you think you put it on too heavy, you probably do. And generally with painting, if I do one really big heavy coat, I'll let it sit and cure for the 24 hours that it asks for, or I'll do multiple lighter coats based on detail. So once again, play with it, get a feel for what you're looking for, whether it be the paint on with the brush or just your straight aerosol spray. Oh, let's hear. So this area here will potentially have a tendency to fail because it's going to get a lot of pulled action. So I might actually put a really heavy coat of the paint on just to get a really nice gooped up area. Now that you've done your plastidip black and you've done your 5 coats, now you're going to do, I always do a base coat of whatever base color I'm using. If it was wood, I'd be using brown, or if it's metal, again silver or brass, and then I build out. So while doing this, I'll take it, I'll spray it down, and I'll get a good coat of silver, let's say, and then to dirty things up, I'll just use enamel. Plastidip is a solvent-based product, so another enamel is going to play really well with it. So I will go in with silver, and then I will stand back, and we'll show you this in a little bit, and just do light coats of black, and then just to kind of make it poppy and look a little dirty and old, if that's what you're desiring, I'll throw in some green. Then for the metals, even if I use silver, I'll throw in some brass, just to give a breakup of the visual quality of the final finish. And then in Dystopia Rising, or if I was doing an orc dagger for, say, Nero, I might throw in some red to give it kind of a bloody look. Just give you that kind of edgy feel to it. I kind of like the look of it, and it gives a little bit more pop to it. But then again, if you're doing just a bright paladin, again, just lots of silver. But I still kind of like to add a little bit more in the shading. If you're doing your detailing or your shadows, when the light comes down and reflects off the flat surface and then you have your edge blade, you'll actually want to make this flatter area darker. And then your edge, you want it to kind of pop out and be more edge-like, so you want that part to be lighter. But say down here, you actually want to add some shading to give it a little bit more depth. Or what I like to do is, if you're just stuck with just spray paint by itself, I'll take this cap off. What I'll do is I'll actually take this and I'll spray into the cap itself. This one here happens to be testers. Again, any enamel will do nicely. base coat of silver. So we're going to grab the black, and I'm just going to do far away. I'm going to hit this area first. So kind of dirtying it up, I'm just going to hit some nice green. And again, from far back away. Red here, red, which I like. Again, just kind of. And then here, I'm going to hit it with some gold. And then what I like to do is just hit it with the black one more time. And then last but not least, a little bit more on the silver to give it more pop. And at this point I like to focus on the blade edges. So last but not least, if you're using the clear plastic or clear Plastidip and you've done your custom colors and you don't want to paint it on, this is a really cool alternative. This one here is $7. Got it at Tap Plastic here in Seattle. Went down to the store. You can probably buy it online as well. And what's really neat about this is it's a pseudo spray can that you get to mix yourself. What I did was went down to the auto parts store, or actually the auto paint store, and I asked to just buy the pigment of the paint, and I got a small tin of it for like $7 or $8. And then I got some really exotic colors that I really liked, and where to go? And then mixed it in with the clear Plastidip, and I was able to paint it on. And then when I wanted to kind of go for a final pass, I just filled it up here, and then this thing's really neat. And you can it just sprays on. It just sucks it out of this pot, and then just dumps it onto your project. I have not tried latex at all yet. I'm not sure how that would work out. Plastic comes in clear aerosol, and then the only way it comes in a tin is if you buy this big kit. In this big kit, it gives you a bunch of pigments so you can mix your own color up if you choose to. Now that we've got a painted axe here, I'm going to back it up by doing 2 to 3 coats of the clear Plastidip, and then once that's all done and dried, I'm going to back it up by spraying the silicone sealant, and then at that point I hand it off to the client, or I go out and play with it myself and have a good time.